about your thoughts on that game.
A tough loss for us.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ric Wesley Show. I'm DJ Foster, joined by Grand Valley State head men's basketball coach Ric Wesley. Coach, you played 2 games last week. You went 1-1 to put you at 5-2 on the year. You went to Northwood for your 3rd straight road game on Wednesday night. It was 36-32 at halftime. You had battled some foul trouble. Northwood had shot the ball very well, so it looked like things were kind of looking up with only a 4-point deficit at halftime. Then you come out in the second half. You only score 12 points. You shoot about 17% from the field. Just kind of struggled. Your biggest strength of the year had been shooting those first 5 games, and then it turned out to be an Achilles heel on Wednesday night. Talk about the 64-44 loss to Northwood.
Well, like I say, it was kind of a rough night all around. First half, we really had a lot of foul trouble. Several of our guys had 2 early fouls, had to sit on the bench, so we were kind of scrambling the entire first half just to stay in the game. And for the most part, I thought we did a pretty good job with some strange lineups on the floor. We battled, we scrapped, and went into halftime only down 4, which I thought was somewhat of a moral victory. And in the second half, got all our guys back. You would think that we would play better, but it wasn't necessarily the case. We had some strange things happen to us early in the half. We maybe had a bad call. We had a missed dunk that turned into a technical foul. Right. So pretty quickly we went from a 2-point deficit to a 10, 12-point deficit. And at that point I thought our team, we sort of unraveled. Didn't continue to execute very well. I think our guys really pressed and were anxious and tried to get it back all at once. And next thing you know, we were really out of sync. So I don't think it was for a lack of desire. I think our effort was, for the most part, okay. If anything, we were trying a little bit too hard. But at the same time, I think you got to give Northwood a lot of credit. They really played well. Ham really shot the ball extremely well for them. Their point guard, Joyce, did a good job of running their team. Their new big players give them some size and strength that maybe they've lacked in the past. So I think they're a much, much improved team. They played very well, and certainly it wasn't one of our best nights.
Yeah, you come back against Rochester on Saturday, which is kind of gave you a break in between conference games, as you would have had an 11-day stretch where you wouldn't have played. And you were able to beat Rochester 62-53. Final score a little closer maybe than it actually appeared to be. It was an 18-point lead late in the second half, so they scored a couple buckets late to make it look a little bit closer. But Nick Waddell was terrific with 21 points, 11 rebounds. You owned the rebounding edge 36-22, and you forced 19 turnovers from Rochester, which certainly helped on your end.
Yeah, it was pretty good effort by our guys. Rochester has a very strong program. They've won several national championships over the years in the NCCAA, National Christian Collegiate Athletic Association division that they're in. They're very well coached. I know their coaches quite well. They do a great job. They're always tough, committed type kids, and this was their 13th, 14th game. So they came in. They had a great attitude. They really run good stuff. They're difficult to defend. But I thought our guys it was one of our better efforts in terms of our defensive concentration and execution. We bent our knees. We did a good job communicating, and I thought played pretty well in the defensive end. To their credit, they're a strong defensive team too, so it wasn't a game where either team was able to get a lot of open, easy opportunities. Maybe the one advantage we had was with Nick Waddell, and our guys did a good job getting the ball to Nick, but Nick was really aggressive and played really hard. He had 7 offensive rebounds, and when you're a front court player and you get 7 offensive rebounds, there's a good chance you're going to have the opportunity to get some easy baskets, and that's kind of what happened for Nick on Saturday. His effort was good, and he really got rewarded.
Yeah, he's played. He struggled at Northwood on Wednesday, but foul trouble kind of crept in with him. But in the game before that and the game after that, he's had double-doubles. He had a career-high 21 points. On Saturday, he had 20 and 12 against Tiffin the game before. So he's got two double-doubles in his last 3 games. Talk about his performance recently.
Well, in the game before the Tiffin game, if you go back to second half at Ohio Dominican, he played very strong too. So to me, it all revolves around him making effort, which is not unusual as a big guy. You can make a career as a big guy just by playing hard, running the floor, keeping balls alive on the offensive glass, defending, making free throws. So if you stand around trying to figure out how to get your game going, chances are it's not going to happen. And the games he plays best is when he just gets out there and just concentrates on really playing hard. And I thought that's what he did on Saturday. And and again, it paid off for him. And when he plays like that, certainly it gives our team a much greater opportunity to be successful.
You have an interesting week ahead of you now as you don't play it'll be 8 days in between games once you get going against Northern Michigan on Sunday. But you got finals this week. Schedules are a little crazy. How do you get through a week like this with your players? They're obviously going to be stressed with classes and everything, and you got 2 big games coming up.
Yeah, well, exam week's always challenging for any student, but particularly I think for college basketball players. It comes at a funny time. We're really getting going into our season. We're in the heart of our conference schedule right now, and yet you're here for a reason. That's get your degree, and so it's super important the guys do a good job this week. And if they were able to come to practice and really concentrate on basketball, I'd probably be concerned because they need to really be concentrating, and they're putting a lot of time, and there's a lot of stress involved with final exams. So, we've given them a couple days off this week. We've looked at the schedule. We try to find some windows of opportunities working around the exam schedule. Our practices will be a little shorter. Try to just keep them in good shape, maybe clean up a few odds and ends, and then as we get into later in the week, we'll get back to kind of a normal schedule. And the fact that fluke in the schedule a little bit that we play on Sunday and Monday gives us that extra day. Friday, usually by Friday, most exams are over, and then we've got Saturday too to sort of get back in the normal swing of things.
Yeah, so looking ahead to this weekend, Sunday and Monday you have Northern Michigan, Sunday at 3:00, and then you come back the very next day with Michigan Tech at 7:00. Northern Michigan's 2-1 in conference, and Michigan Tech's 3-0. So you have 2 teams coming in that are 5-1 in the conference play. It'll be a tough stretch for you. Talk about those 2 teams.
Yeah, really it's tough, and especially playing them back to back. Northern Michigan's got one of the outstanding big players in the conference, and Jared Benson, and then they've got a freshman player, Stampley, who's really off to a great start. Their forward Taylor is one of the more athletic players in the conference, so they've got a number of really good players, and so we'll have to. Particularly after the way we played in our last conference game, we really have to, get back to the basics, and then right away the next day, less than 24 hours. I guess it's more than 24 hours. It's a 3:00 and 7:00 game, but the next day, then we've got to play the team that everybody's picked to win the North Division, Michigan Tech, which has got again, 2 of the very best frontline players, Ho Janecki and Ali Haydar, who many people think will be the player of the year in the conference. So it is what it is, and we just got to get out there and get after it and play the way we're capable. And if we play hard and play together, then usually good things will happen for us.
Well, the good news is you don't have to take any final exams, and neither do I, so we can just worry about basketball.
Yeah, no question.
Well, Rick, best of luck this week, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us here on the Ric Wesley Show on the Grand Valley Sports Network.